Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for taking the right stand this Friday evening. I'm Anand Narsuman, and what we decided to do today is to go and dip into the Neta app. I've been going through this. I'm part of that Neta app, and we've been putting out small bits and pieces here on the right stand today. I said, let's just take a deep dive. Use this platform that gives us a reach to lakhs of people across the length and breadth of this country, and go and get into their minds, be it the first-time voters, be it women, be it youth, be it men, urban, rural. Let's ask them a very simple question. What is the issue that decided your vote? We did not ask who you voted for. We are not putting out what seats, etc., etc. We are just asking, what is the issue? What is the issue that decided your vote? Let's try and hit the numbers. First up, we broke it down into 4 or 5 different segments. We've got voices that back the government, voices that back the opposition, and of course, the voice whose team has put out these numbers. So we got all of them in the mix, but let's go straight to the first-time voters. We've got first-time voters to about 1.5 crore in this election, ladies and gentlemen. The All India aggregate for first-time voters on the Neta app, and the sample size is more than 1 lakh. The sample base is about 1,01,768. And they say jobs. 30.61% of the people who have voted in the last 4 phases have said the issue that decided their vote was jobs. 30% of this 1 lakh base. 25% have talked about educational advancement. Now, if you look at urban voters and you see the switch there. Free speech trumps national security for the urban voter. Though jobs and education become the top 2, remain the top 2, free speech trumps national security. And when we look at the rural voters, first-time voters from rural India, that sample base is about a good 48,000 people, so close to about 48% of the entire sample base itself is rural voters. 29% say jobs, but 23% say educational advancement and national security, and free speech comes a close fourth, very close fourth. Burning issues. Let's go across to Charu Pragya, Shantanu Gupta, Alimuddin Khan, and of course Pratham. Pratham, I'm going to ask you this on the Neta app. You're a young bloke, so I'm going to count you among the millennials. I'm not going to ask you your age, but I'm going to say you're in the bracket of 18 to 44. So let's leave it there. When you asked this question, did you deliberately use only these issues, or did these issues present themselves?
No, so we actually showed a list of around 12 issues, and these are the top 4 issues.
Dr. Farooq Khan, good evening. Thank you for joining us. I was just told that you're through too.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, good evening. Now let's look at the issues.
Thank you.
Yes, Pratham, go ahead.
So we actually had over 10 to 12 issues that we were asking people their opinion on, but the 4 that we are...
Yes, Pratham, go ahead.
So we actually had over 10 to 12 issues that we were asking people their opinion on, but the 4 that we are showing are the most important 4. The rest
stood out from there. So when they polled and when they selected these issues, these were the 4 or 5 most important.
Most important,
yeah.
yes.
Okay.
And so what we did was we did some analysis to figure out. Also, we asked the people what is their first issue, the issue that's most important to them. Then also what is the second most important issue to them, right? And so this data that you see is actually consolidated data, right? Where we have taken not only their first preferences but also second preferences into account. So that's why the 4 percentages add up to 100%. Even though there are few people whose votes were not counted because of the fact that they were probably... So for example, there was a good 5% user base that looked at agrarian crisis as the top issue.
Yeah.
However, 5% was a small number for us to worry too much about. So we took their second preference into account. And more often than not, in that case, it was jobs.
It was jobs.
Right.
So everywhere, jobs is the #1 issue. But is jobs defining the political narrative in this election campaign, Charu Pragya? It's not.
It definitely is, Anand, because I'll tell you something. When you listen to a leader speak, and a leader from my party, any BJP person, understands the importance of jobs, and whatever conversations are revolving around jobs are not up in the sky like with the other parties. I am sorry I have to say this, but the opposition will say we need jobs. But when you turn around and ask them how are you planning on creating these jobs, they don't have an answer. The positive thing with Bharatiya Janata Party is that they understand the youth of this country need jobs. We are the youngest country in the world. We have such a massive population of the working class coming up still. And the number of jobs that are required are only going to go up. But we have a policy in place. We understand that every single job is not going to be a 9-to-5 job. We understand we have to encourage entrepreneurs. We understand that we have to create spaces for young minds like Pratham to come up and start something new.
See, now look at, we've also done the breakup across North, South, Central India and across India. And what stands out, Shantanu and Dr. Farooq Khan, when we ask this question, and of course I'm speaking, Pratham, very clearly, job opportunities is an issue that decided their vote. We did not ask them, who did you vote for? We did not ask them what beyond job opportunity, but creation of jobs for a first-time voter. But naturally, Dr. Farooq Khan, when you and me were in college in our final year, the first thing was Naukri. When we got into post-graduation and when we said Naukri, it was jab exam likhne baiठte the, it was Naukri. So, first, by default, first-time voters, we're talking about first-time voters, the issue will always be Naukri. The issue will always be opportunity.
Right.
So it's not as a surprise. The surprise is 2, 3 and 4. The surprise is free speech figures prominently. The surprise is that along with job, they're also talking about educational advancement, and the rural first-time voter is talking about educational advancement. So it's a big issue.
Right, Anand. Yeah, that establishes the factum that this country wants to move forward. If we leave aside the political narrative for at the base for a moment, because unfortunately every discussion in our country goes to Congress and BJP. But if we leave this discussion at bay for a moment, we have to understand and appreciate that this senses the mood of this nation. That this country wants to move ahead from the political rhetorics. This country wants solution. Youth of the country wants solution. Youth of the country wants protection of their basic constitutional right to freedom of speech and expression. That's very amazing thing. And I'm so thankful of this app collection done by this app. And my I wish them all best for the future, their endeavors as well. But this shows that their country wants to move on. Positivity.
One important aspect we should remember, and Pratham Mittal, the fact is that this sample base, though very exhaustive and very large as a base, is on a social media platform. It's an app. So people, both in urban India, rural India, first-time voters who are social media savvy, who are part of this entire platform, are the ones who have participated in this survey. So there is a certain evolution in thought process and also understanding of technology, which is there with this sample base, Pratham, which we have to tell our viewers.
Sure. So just to correct you a little bit here. So while 20% of our user base is our app user base, but almost 80% of our entire sample actually comes from us actually calling people and reaching out to them at the ground level. Because we understand that people who are using the app are not representative of the actual population of the country.
Correct.
That's true. We concede that.
Correct.
So app is just a way to look at the data.
Yeah.
But the way we collect the data is actually way more diverse and way more deep.
Right. So it is deeper. So you're saying, all right, so you've reached out. So it's an 80-20 differential in terms of those who are social media savvy and those who have reached out to via phone calls, email, however you've reached out to them. But these are all people who have access to a phone, who've got phones, and phone penetration in both urban and rural India today we know is immense. In fact, rural India, they've got more instruments per person rather than urban. Rather than urban India. Alimuddin Khan, Shantanu Gupta. I'll come across to you, gentlemen, as we bring in our next parameter, because you got ground to cover. So I'm just going to bring it in, and then let's talk about it together. I will start with you, Alimuddin Khan, and then Shantanu will come across to you. Let me just walk back, and we said, all right, first-time voters, Now let's also talk about women voters. What is important for the women of this country? What are the issues which matter to the women voters? On the Neta app, the aggregate base of women voters who were polled or who were asked this question or who participated in this survey is 98,000 plus. So chota number nahi hai. 98,000 plus. People are making election projections on 6,000 and 10,000 sample base. This is a 98,000 base. So let's establish that. We are asking issues. The urban voter, the woman. Job opportunities again 32%. Next is reservation. Then women's safety for the urban woman. Welfare schemes came last in the top 4 priorities, top 4 issues. Now let's flip it to the rural women. When we look at the rural women voters, women's safety and welfare schemes are neck and neck. Just like jobs and reservation are neck and neck. And among the first-time voters, if we just go back to the total All India aggregate, if we can play the All India aggregate and the first-time voters, it's very interesting among the women that these are the 4 issues that stand out. Jobs, reservation, welfare schemes and women's safety. Women's safety above welfare schemes. Interesting this bit because this government has been talking about Ujjwala. This government has been talking about all the other schemes that they have reached out to the women voters, and they are saying I'm talking about safety first. I'm talking about Naukri first. I'm talking about educational advancement first. Charupankya, insight here. Alimuddin Khan.
Can I come in?
One second. Let Alimuddin Khan and Shantanu Gupta make their point.
No,
I'm just saying, sir, these 4 issues.
Anandji.
Yeah. Ji.
Anandji, I want to ask, where is the Skill India? Where is the Make in India? Where are the startups? Which Prime Minister Modi ji started in the beginning? Those issues are lost because unemployment has increased, prices has gone high, and government failure is there
Prices
because
have
of this
actually
all.
not gone high,
And that's
sir.
what
You
that's
need
what
to
I'm
check
saying.
your data before you make that statement.
Please. Youth of this country, youth of this country is saying, भूखे भजन न हो गोपाला, ये लो अपनी कंठी वाला. पहले रोजगार तो दो, पहले खाने को तो मिले, उसके बाद तो दूसरी चीजें करेंगे. आप तो योगा करवाना चाहते हो, सुबह से शाम तक बिना खाए ही कैसे चलेगा? देश तो जब चलेगा जब रोजगार मिलेगा, जब बिजनेस चलेगा, जब इकोनॉमी ठीक होगी, जब देश के तभी तो देशभक्त तो हरा दिए.
अलीमुद्दीन खान थोड़ा सा रोकिए. आपने अपना ओपनिंग जो आपका स्क्रिप्ट था आपने पढ़ दिया. आपको जो कहना था कह दिया. आपको कुछ सुनाना था शेर आपने सुना दिया. वो भी आपने कह दिया. दोहा भी पढ़ दिया. पर सर यहाँ पर महिलाएं कह रही हैं हमें नौकरी चाहिए. उन्होंने ये नहीं कहा कि नौकरियां नहीं है. सुनिए, द पॉइंट इज जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज इज द
talking about women, Anand. Please allow me to come in.
No, sir. Everybody needs a job. Whether or not there are no jobs or there are, everybody needs a. Alimuddin Khan, please make it.
There is no employment in the country.
Alimuddin Khan, the issue is not unemployment. The issue is opportunities. The issue is not whether or not there is employment and if there is a case of unemployment. The issue is what is important for you. For me, importance is I need to have job opportunities. That is not the same as employment or unemployment, sir. The issue is I need to have an avenue or opportunity for job. The other aspect is public safety is an important issue. We have not said the lack of it or the presence of it. We have said public safety is an issue. As voters, it's an issue that matters.
I'm very happy that you have brought this program.
Women's reservation.
Millions and millions.
Women's reservation. Shantanu, what is important is, Shantanu, that reservation resonates among women and that's been denied to them so far by the netas of this country.
So Anand, you're right. It's interesting to see the reservation score so high, and very intuitively, both in first-time voters and both in women voters, jobs is a priority, and if jobs is the priority, I think Modi government scores, it's good for the Modi government if jobs is the #1 priority for women voters and first-time voters. Because be it CIS survey, which says that 1.5 crore jobs are created every year in MSME, or be it IIM Ahmedabad EPFO survey, which says almost 75 lakh jobs created in formal sector. So if jobs is one of the priority for first-time voters and women voters, does advantage PM Modi.
No, I don't know whether it is advantage or disadvantage. We're not even getting into that space. The question we are asking what the issues would stand and what...
That's my opinion. That's my opinion based on the data available.
Absolutely.
Based on the data available, that's my opinion.
Please make your opinion, and you are entitled to make your opinion just like Alimuddin Khan, Dr. Farooq Khan and Charu Pragya. But Pratham Mittal, what stands out for women is, because when I was in Mumbai, all the first-time voters and women voters came out and said public safety is important for us.
It is.
So, it's an issue that resonates. But in the political campaign around us, how many leaders have spoken about women's safety? Yes, the opposition has raised the issue of jobs. The government of the day has also talked about jobs. But on ground, to come out and say these are the million of job opportunities created, or this is what we will create as a roadmap, is something which is lacking. Reservation. Strong. Did you expect reservation to pop up?
Not at all. In fact, I mean, women's safety and reservation. Women's safety was a big issue in 2014. I think it was.
Yes, it was.
Right, in the aftermath of Nirbhaya. At this time, we are not seeing that narrative being played by either of the political parties, and I think that's an opportunity lost by both the political parties. I think 22% of Indian women want women's safety to be addressed, and everyone's ignoring it. So politically, I feel that that's a game failed.
Yeah, it's an opportunity. I'm just saying 3 more phases left. Wonder which political party is watching this and is going to use it to its advantage or not. But point is, do they have it in their manifesto? That's another question that people need to go back and look at the manifesto. One minute, sir, I've got 2 callers. Brigendra Day from Jaipur with us. Brigendra, hi. I thank you for watching us regularly and watching the Right Stand regularly. We missed you on the show last night. Your call had dropped just before I could come across to you. Make your point, sir. I also have Damodar from Chennai. Go ahead. Yes, Brigendra first. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Sir, good evening, sir. Good evening, Anand.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, Anand.
Good evening.
Hello.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
Good evening, Anand.
Good evening. I can hear you, sir. Please reduce the volume of your television and speak. Go ahead, please.
Mr. Anand, my question is to Mr. Alamuddin. Good evening. Mr. Anand, my question is to Mr. Alamuddin Khan of the Congress Party. Okay. Sorry, sir.
Yeah, now
my
go ahead.
question is to Mr. Alamuddin Khan of the Congress Party.
Jay, what's your question?
There is no doubt that jobs is one of the requirements of all the individuals of this country, sir. My pointed question to Mr. Alamuddin Khan is, and he should give me a pointed reply rather than going to Balakot and to surgical strike, other things. How will his Congress president, who has said he will give 24 lakhs government jobs in 1 year, how will he fulfill this? This is number 1 lie which he is telling. Number 2, they have given a scheme of Nyay of 3,80,000 crores, whereas former finance minister Mr. Chidambaram has said it is not possible in 1 year, it is possible in 5 years. They have quoted Dr. Rajan of the well-known economist.
Rajan,
I have read Rajan's article in Times of India where he said it is not possible. So the problem with this party is this party is a party of Supreme Court lawyers.
Right.
They can say anything, everything is possible, everything is doable.
Brigendra Day. Yeah, okay, let Alimuddin Khan respond. I'm sorry I'm interrupting you because we have limited time. So I've got another caller in Damodar from Chennai who's waiting patiently. But Alimuddin Khan answer. The allegation Alimuddin Khan, the viewer, has made at you at the Congress party is कि आप scheme तो लाए, लेकिन उसका implementation goal है. आप बात तो कर रहे हैं, लेकिन plan goal है. That's the allegation.
देखिए, ये बीजेपी नहीं है जो 15 लाख एक खाते का ख्वाब दिखाएगी और 1 रुपया भी खाते में नहीं भेजेगी। कांग्रेस ने किसानों का कर्ज माफ का वादा किया था, वो 20 लाख किसानों का कर्ज माफ हुआ और बाकी का भी हो जाएगा। At the same time, Congress is more concerned about the unemployment of this country and about the farmer suicide in this country. Congress want to uplift the downtrodden society.
Now one minute. Alimuddin Khan, like Brigadier, they said he wants a pointed answer. You're not giving a pointed answer, sir. I apologize. I pull away from you, Damodar from Chennai. Go ahead, Mr. Damodar. Go ahead, please.
Can you talk?
Yes, sir. Yes. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Okay. Granting without conceding. Granting without conceding, Modi is a bigot. Okay, the people of India in 2014 preferred a bigot to an idiot.
Sir, I'm going to request you to control. Sir, I respect your opinion, sir, but you're on a public platform. You're on a national channel. You're on air.
Yes.
You're airing an opinion. But I request you.
I want the nation to hear what I have to tell.
I know, but I would also request you to exercise a certain level of caution in the vocabulary and the language that you're using, sir. You are making a direct accusation at a Prime Minister. You are a citizen of this country. You are doing it. You have the right to do it. But I am going to request some caution. Just like you are also calling you're calling the Congress party president names. So I would request you to please withhold. You can be critical, sir. But I'm sorry, Mr. Damodar. I'm going to have to cut your call there because we have to exercise a certain level of decorum as far as our criticism. Thank you, Mr. I'm just going to. Well, he's called the Prime Minister a bigot and the Congress party president an idiot, and he says that the nation chose a bigot over an idiot. That's what he came out and said. But beyond that, we're going to get back. We're going to get back to the Neta app poll and the survey.
That is an example of free speech, by the way, Anand. Like we began with those four major issues. I don't think free speech is an issue at all in this country. Definitely, whether it comes to the Congress party president calling names to our PM or this particular caller,
or be it Mahant Adityanath, or on the other hand Sitaram Yechuri.
For that matter.
So
we must establish the fact that we are a country that believes in free speech and is encouraging free speech.
Now let's move on and say the issue of national security. National security. Yesterday, Pratham, I'm going to challenge you on this a little. Because 7% of the people say it is as important that it is going to shift my vote.
Right.
Today the base is around 81,000 people, right? And you say it is important for 13% of the people on a national average. That's what you're saying. On the Masood Azhar ban, in the forthcoming phases, last evening when we asked this question on the Neta app, the response was about 40% of non-BJP, non-NDA voters, they said that it is enough to shift their vote on a base of about 125,000 people. Now, if national security is not such a big important issue, how is it that Masood Azhar becomes an important issue but national security says 10%, 14% numbers as we put out these numbers?
I think it's how you frame the question also. When we design our surveys, we put a lot of effort into making sure that the question, the way it's framed, we have to think about it quite a bit, right?
Right.
So this question is a very clear question. We are asking whether national security and issues around national security. And when we say national security, all India, across India, people first think of Pulwama, they first think of Balakot rather than Masood Azhar, right? So I think this survey is a perception survey around the Pulwama and the strikes after that, right? So the very important 7%, that's actually a pretty high number if you think about it, that 7% of all people are ready to change their vote from one party to another party because of the actions that they took for national security. And 14% for the important people who believe it's important, it's still 12, 13, 14%.
And the difference is, this is on all those people who have already voted in the first 4 phases, and the Masood Azhar question was on those people who are yet to vote. So that poll was done on the constituencies that are going to the ballot in the forthcoming phases of 5, 6 and 7. Right.
So the location issue as well. So it depends. I think this particular question had a huge sample from UP.
Yeah.
Right, so that's another point to sort of just consider.
Also, I think I have an observation about this. In times of peace, for the normal electorate, I don't think national issue becomes such a big deal. But when we see impending danger, or when we see an action like the UN calling Masood Azhar, declaring him to be a global terrorist, these kind of things have an impact because actively the voter starts thinking about national security. I think in their everyday lives, they are more concerned about their livelihood, they are more concerned about their jobs, keeping the cost of living within reason, making sure there is safety on the roads. But the minute they are reminded actively of the nation, of patriotism, they will shift.
You believe they will shift. Dr. Farooq Khan had a point of view. And as Dr. Farooq Khan makes his point, I'm going to request my team to see if we can just pull out the Neta app numbers for Masood Azhar from last evening, if we have the time and if we can do it. Yes, yeah. Go ahead, Dr. Farooq Khan.
Yeah, thank you. BJP wants us to wear the nationalism and patriotism on our sleeves. And BJP is the party which does not have no respect. Because this is what Justice Chanchud has said in his judgment, the sitting judge of Supreme Court. I would appreciate if you could read that judgment. Now, coming back to the second point, because the nationalism to me is the welfare of my country. The patriotism to me is to do something good for the country, not making the political rhetorics. Not,
Dr. Farooq Khan, I'll tell you what, nationalism, patriotism is not the point of view. The point of view is as far as national security is concerned. Political will, as far as national security and taking some hard calls, that is where the national security doctrine, having a policy, redefining the red line, be it Balakot, be it Uri, be it Masood Azhar, be it making sure that the world comes together, getting diplomatic consensus. Now look at, these are the Masood Azhar numbers that I said, all India numbers which are there. Now look at that sample base. That sample base is 121,690 of the forthcoming constituencies, 169 constituencies. 54% says, look at the question, will your vote now move to BJP or NDA? 54.62% said yes. That's a big number. And when I say all India number, this is across the constituencies that are going to polls in the remaining. So 169 constituencies. This is the number. And today you have a number which said 7% shift purely on the issue of national security. Alimuddin Khan wanted to say something, and then I'll bring Shantanu back in. Yeah. Alimuddin Khan.
Anandji, I want to ask Charu Pragya. She is a beti of this country, and she is also beti of a Kisan family. If she not remember the Beti Bachao program of this BJP government which flopped, and today it has the women's safety has emerged at a largest issue in women. And at the same time, the farmers' issue is one of the second largest, as you told, after unemployment.
You know what?
So will Charu Pragya respond to that?
Yeah, let Charu Pragya respond, but I want to also make Alimuddin Khan understand this. Women's safety is an issue, sir. We have not asked the lack of it or the presence of it. Please understand that.
Sir, it was Beti Bachao. It was Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao program of this BJP flop.
Sir, I am asking.
And that's why it has emerged. Women safety has emerged, and Rahul Gandhi has mentioned several times.
Let Charu answer.
I'd like to respond to that. The most important thing which shines from the entire campaign of BJP of Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao is that people have started thinking about daughters. I apologize, 5 years back, how many of us were talking about girl-child education? How many of us were discussing female infanticide? How many of us would see the data, would see the statistics and do something about it? The answer is very few, sir. Extremely little number of people were impacted. But after this campaign started, and it was a campaign, it is not a law which was given out by the government. After this campaign started, the mindset of the public at large has started changing, and that is a victory of the NDA government, of the Modi government.
Well,
because when you change the mindset long term, that is what makes
public
an
safety,
impact
women's
socially.
safety is an issue.
Can I come in on nationalism as well?
Yeah.
Because sir had made a comment about that as well. When we understand that nationalism is a big issue for these elections, let us be very open and understand that we have to talk about it. We have to address the issue from rallies. So I know the Congress party and their allies have been going on and on and moving to the Election Commission with regards to the PM speeches which refer to nationalism.
They are saying
want to frame national security policies from rallies.
They are coming. She's talking about nationalism. She's talking about nationalism and the steps taken by this government. They are talking it on an election platform. They are coming out and they are making no bones about what they did. Because they are addressing it. They are making it an issue. I have more ground to cover.
I'm sorry to hear.
This is going to further fuel the debate. Nyay versus PM Kisan Yojana, which is a better scheme, as an issue, as a welfare scheme which resonated more. That was the question that was asked. Nyaya or PM Kisan Yojana, what India voted for. It is not what India voted for. You modified the question, you tweaked the question a little, Pratham Mittal, where you said as a welfare scheme, which is a better welfare scheme. So I'm going to put that out there. PM Kisan rated much lower, about 40% lower or 30% lower, 30% lower. Look at that, 20%, 20%, 21% lower than Nyaya. So overall, be it young voters, urban voters, rural voters, the All India aggregate, Nyaya scored as a welfare scheme over and above the PM Kisan Yojana. Shantanu Gupta.
Anand, everyone knows that PM Kisan is a scheme which is already implemented. It is already implemented, and Nyaya is a scheme which is proposed, which is denounced by the economists. That it's not feasible. And also Nyaya, the proposal of Nyaya is for a wider audience. And PM Kisan is for the audience only which are Kisan. So in any poll, if this is not an apple to apple comparison, you're comparing a scheme which is targeted to a particular audience. What is a proposed wider audience scheme? So I'm saying it are bound to happen more votes.
Yeah,
that's my analysis.
So the question that was asked is not whether the vote was decided based on Nyaya or Kisan Yojana. The question that was asked, Pratham, was which welfare scheme is better according to you?
Exactly. That's the question we asked.
So if the voter is rating, why is the voter rating Nyaya as a better scheme over and above PM Kisan Yojana? Is it because of the promise of 72,000 rupees? Is it the minimum income guarantee resonating more than a certain amount of input or help or a stipend for the farmers?
I think we also collect comments from people once they sort of reply on the survey. We also ask them for their opinion. And I think Congress, you have to give them credit where it's due.
Yes,
the way they have marketed Nyaya and the 72,000 program, I think that has paid dividends. Definitely, I think it's a little bit more memorable than the PM Kisan Yojana.
So Nyaya stands out more. Ab hoga Nyaya, or Nyaya as a scheme, welfare scheme stands out more. Charu Pragya.
I am glad someone is talking about the marketing skills of Congress finally. So well done. But coming back to the point, they are packaging dreams and then peddling it out to the public at large without the basic understanding that this is economic suicide for India. But for the average voter, which is always an uninformed voter in our country, when you study the Indian voting pattern, most of them are the uninformed voters.
This average voter knows about education, jobs, public safety, and they are informed there, but they are not informed between Nyaya and PM Kisan Yojana. No.
Anand, but people who get into the depths of Nyaya,
once again,
it's a marketing gimmick. We have admitted to as much. It's a marketing gimmick.
I'll tell you what. Once again, the survey said which looks or which, according to you, the better welfare scheme. Obviously. The question was not asked about implementation. Question was not asked whether it's a jumla, whether it's a dream. Can the Congress implement it? Is it possible to do it? The question that was asked is between PM Kisan Yojana and Nyaya, which is a better welfare scheme?
It's that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
So you have to,
and we are going to chase that pot of gold and never reach the end of the rainbow.
Nyaya is a better welfare scheme. So let's concede it there that Nyaya is a better welfare scheme. Where they lost the narrative perhaps is a matter of argument that they didn't have the scheme. They had the scheme. Scheme to hai bhai. Karenge kaise nahi malum.
No, lekin Shantanu ka ek point is also right. The targeted people, the TG.
Congress is taking pragmatic approach. Anandji, Congress is taking pragmatic approach, workable approach, not showing people dream of 15 lakh rupees per account or within. Anandji, Congress is taking pragmatic approach, workable approach, not showing people dream of 15 lakh rupees per account or within direct money from the
Let's come back to reality and stay on the issue.
Then removing abolition of the
He doesn't understand. He's giving much more than the 15 lakhs he talks about.
Talking something logical. And logically,
sir, it is like saying Tata Birla mere परिवार को ना
I'll tell you what.
और मेरे जैसे
I'll tell you what. Okay, Alimuddin Khan, wait a minute.
Do you think they're going to do that?
Alimuddin Khan, like I said, sir, the scheme is fantastic on paper. When you make it sound, it just looks fantastic. where you lost...
Workable as well, sir. It is not like 15 lakh in per account.
It is workable.
Workable.
It is workable over a period of 5 years. It is workable if the GDP jumps from 200 lakh crore to 400 lakh crore. It is workable when you reduce subsidies and increase taxes by 3.5% to 4% on those people who, the economists who suggested Nyaya, believe are not being taxed enough in our country. The upper middle class and the rich. सर ये सारे क्वालिफिकेशन ये सब तो बाद में फाइन प्रिंट है सर सामने सामने किताब कवर पे न्याय लुक्स बेटर देन पीएम किसान इज व्हाट द वोटर हैज कम आउट एंड सेड दैट्स वेयर इट इज वील टेक अ शॉर्ट पॉज व्हेन वी कम बैक सर आई हैव टू टेक अ ब्रेक व्हेन वी कम बैक whose campaign has impressed the voter more those who already voted Modi versus Rahul and the approval ratings when we come back stay with us. Back on limited time, let's quickly look at whose campaign impressed the voter who's already voted across 374 constituencies. Modi or Rahul, whose campaign was effective? Prime Minister Narendra Modi beats Rahul Gandhi by about 20%, all India aggregate, and by a bigger number, about 33% or 35%, as far as the first-time voters are concerned. So the first-time voters more impressed with Prime Minister Narendra Modi than the youth leader Rahul Gandhi. That's something interesting. Male voters 60% Modi, women voters 57 or 58% Modi, 39 and 42. That's the number. Women voters finding more resonance, some more traction for Rahul Gandhi there, the eligible bachelor. Urban voters 60%, rural voters 57%. Rahul Gandhi finding traction among the rural voters too, 42%. So quickly just taking you through these numbers and revisiting the approval ratings. 10 data points, ladies and gentlemen, from PM Kisan, from the time the day PM Kisan announcement happened sometime in December, the Balakot strike, Nirav Modi arrest, Prime Minister Narendra Modi sees a surge in the approval ratings in the high 3 points. As far as Rahul Gandhi, from December onwards, there has been a steady up for his approval ratings till the day the Nyaya announcement happens. The day Nyaya announcement happens, he is moving up to 3.27. But here's the stunning number. Phase 1 polls, he slips, PM goes up. But at Phase 2 polls, he is ahead of the Prime Minister as far as the approval ratings are concerned in Phase 2. Then, Phase 3, the Prime Minister surges. Phase 4, the Prime Minister ahead. Rahul Gandhi at 3.24. The day Masood Azhar is designated a global terrorist, so Prime Minister surges to the highest number of 3.84 and Rahul Gandhi is back to his Phase 1 number of 3.01. That's what's happening. That's what certain developments are influencing the approval ratings. Now let's quickly get around. Dr. Farooq Khan, the campaign management of Modi more impressive for the voters as per the Neta app.
Yes. I will tell you, Anand. Yeah. Thank you very much. See, the point is, Mr. Modi excels in art of selling dreams. In 2014, if we take that manifesto of BJP as a benchmark for evaluation in 2019, we have to understand and appreciate that none of the commitments being made by BJP in their manifesto of 2014 is being fulfilled. And if you carefully analyze what Mr. Modi was speaking in 2014, he is very carefully making sure that he does not repeat the same. No Achhe Din, no Mehengai, no petrol, diesel, right? No employment issue. So he excels. We have to
give credit where it's due.
No, it's all under control, sir. You should know that cost price index,
BJP's argument is कि अच्छे दिन आ गए हैं, पेट्रोल डीजल के दाम कम हो गए हैं, महंगाई कम हो चुकी है, तो why spin that? Yes, Charu Pragya response.
No, he cannot deny statistics and numbers. The very reason our Prime Minister is not speaking about Mehengai today, it's because it is under control. The cost price index shows the graph. It is It's under control. The
last 2 minutes,
the inflation is
for the
under
last
control.
2 minutes, let's not make it about Modi. Let's make it about Rahul Gandhi, please.
About Mengai.
Let's make it about Rahul Gandhi, please. And Shantanu Gupta, you have to give credit where it's due. The Congress president, yes. The Congress president, Congress president is also come up to the 40s, sir, as far as the approval, as far as campaign effectiveness is concerned. 2014 में तो 3%, 4%, 10% पे थे. यानी कुछ तो काम कर रहे हैं, मेहनत कर रहे हैं. There is some traction that is happening. He is emerging, and today Priyanka Gandhi says he is not a reluctant PM, so he is now projecting himself as the main opposition now.
Anand, this is very interesting that Congress and Rahul Gandhi keep taking moral victory when finally you have to clock 272 in Parliament to form a government. See why Modi's campaign is important, because he has a different messaging, very specific messaging for all the class. Modi had the mumkin hai for the very logical one. फिर एक बार मोदी सरकार for the existing BJP, creating confidence in the existing BJP voter. And मेरा पहला वोट मोदी को for the first time voter. And if you say चौकीदार चोर है, he'll come up with मैं भी हूँ चौकीदार. So I think it's very swift, very quick, and very effective communication, which is reaching out to the voters.
Modi resonating with the first time voters more than Rahul Gandhi. Did that surprise you, or were you not surprised?
I'm not sure. I mean, I think while Rahul is obviously younger,
I'm asking you as a youngster who's also leading this Neta. So tell me both perspectives.
I think Mr. Modi did a lot of reach out to the first time voters. You know, whether it be through the book that he released for the people who were taking the exams, for the kids who were taking the exams. I think his narratives were very focused towards the first time voter. Rahul's narrative was very generalist. I don't think he ever specifically targeted the first-time voter, except for the colleges that he visited.
Yeah.
In Tamil Nadu, I believe that was once.
Correct.
But Mr. Modi's been doing that the entire 5 years. He's been going to a lot of universities all over the country, and I've also seen him in a couple. So I think the reach out that Mr. Modi has made to the youngsters has been very targeted. The last 5 years, he knew that they were going to play a very important role in these elections.
No, but how much is this
going? It's not just about elections, Anand. You know, it's also about our nation as a whole. We are the youngest country in the world. We need a leader who addresses the issues of these youngsters. It's extremely important, not just for polling. So that
this is once again I'm just saying.
And Rahul Gandhi is not very young. At 50, you
whose
cannot be
campaign
a
was more
youngster.
effective.
68.
That's what they say. Yeah.
Anand, though Narendra Modi is 68, though Narendra Modi is 68, but nobody, because of the energy, nobody talks about his age. We always add a prefix youth for Rahul Gandhi. We have to add that extra adjective, but the kind of energy that comes out of Narendra Modi's personality, we never talked about his age. So that's why there's a very natural.
Rahul Gandhi is about 20 to 30 points behind the Prime Minister across the aggregates. He's also 20 years younger to the Prime Minister. So you can concede, sir, at 48.
No, but our Prime Minister was the Chief Minister at that age.
Youth, sir.
Our Prime Minister was delivering in a very serious way at that age. He was making Gujarat one of the most prosperous states of India. What is Rahul Gandhi doing? Till the rightful age of 50, he's done nothing to his credit.
It is Nyay versus Anyay. It is Nyay versus Anyay. It is Man Ki Baat versus मैं ही हिंदुस्तान हूँ. It is Man Ki Baat versus मैं ही हिंदुस्तान हूँ. It is Man Ki Baat versus मैं ही हिंदुस्तान हूँ.
Okay. Alimuddin Khan, you don't need to ham your way through the debate, sir. You don't need to ham your way through the debate, sir. इंडिया इज इंदिरा, इंदिरा इज इंडिया किसने कहा? आज आप मैं हिंदुस्तान हूँ कर रहे हैं, कमाल कर रहे हैं. All right, I have to wind up. We're going to take a very short break. Great fun putting out this Neta app data, and the promise that at least once a week we will deep dive with the Neta app. We will challenge Pratham Mittal and his team to get us some more info nuggets which make for an engaging debate here of the right stand. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, the overall takeaways from today's dipstick.